I'm glad that you've come to see me on such short notice, President Obama. May I call you Barack?
Yes, of course, Your Majesty. I understood that you wanted to speak with me in confidence about the WikiLeaks matter.
Yes, exactly. You know, a lot of the discussion and reports that we hear going on in the United States right now with regard to WikiLeaks sounds very much like what we heard between China and Google last March.
How do you mean? Would you explain a little more, please?
You know that technological superiority is not the only reason why Google is the world's preeminent search engine, even in China. One very important reason Google is the preferred search engine in China even over Chinese search engines is because it is perceived with the sense that it aligns itself with American values in the spirit of openness and free expression that has prevailed on the internet.
Google made the point to China, as I understand it, that censorship should be viewed as a barrier to trade, particularly given the increased importance of the internet in moving goods and ideas around the world.
Yes, exactly. Google clearly made their point that they were against China's policy of filtering the internet. Something that, as I understand, your Senators Lieberman and Feinstein are proposing as a response to shutting down WikiLeaks.
Yes, I'm aware that they have some internet filtering legislation on the Hill.
I expect that you can easily see that, if America were to erect a Chinese-styled firewall to filter out government criticism and Assange were prosecuted, potential whistleblowers and news tipsters would have to think twice before risking any action.
No doubt that would be bad news for American journalism.
Mr. President, I think it would be even worse for U.S. technology giants. That is something that the Chinese people have already proven to the world by favoring Google. It truly is more than just perceptions.
I see your point.
In my opinion, I don't think that it really makes sense for Washington to escalate the WikiLeaks matter. I want to explain this to you a little more, because it seems more than just a probability that any escalation of this is going to result in more collateral damage, mostly American. If you'll excuse me for a few minutes, I'll be right back. I want to tell you a story. As I was saying, the question at hand is whether it really makes sense for Washington to escalate the WikiLeaks saga.
As you know, there have been numerous other commentators that have elevated the stakes beyond official responses from Lieberman and Feinstein.
Precisely, and while the efforts of sympathetic hackers might seem juvenile, you don't want to turn this into the opening salvos of a long-awaited cyber war.
Certainly not, I agree.
Let me share with you an experience we had back in May of 2009 when the Daily Telegraph detailed an expense account abuse fiasco regarding members of Parliament.
Please, go ahead.
Well, among some of the expense account abuses were that one of our lawmakers had spent over $2,500 for a floating duck house.
I'm glad to hear that this type of experience is not unique to the United States.
The reports were leaked by way of a stolen computer disk that a Telegraph reporter obtained from a disgruntled public sector employee, supposedly for a fee.
What was Parliament's first response?
The British political establishment was nearly unanimous in its condemnation of the newspaper. There was talk of prosecuting the Telegraph, and our lawyers studied up on the Official Secrets Act, but eventually common sense prevailed and Parliament backed off.
How did that happen? Why? I want to understand.
Certainly this was a bad situation, but their prosecuting the Telegraph would have made it worse, and damaged Britain's image as an advocate of transparency and fair play. A much more important long-term consideration, if you really think about it.
Yes, I can see, the information was out, and shooting the messenger would be pointless.
Absolutely correct, and worse, while you're shooting the messenger, you're shooting yourself in the foot too.
Right.
America needs to weigh its response, if any, against the inevitable much more serious leak, which is the publishing of thousands of American diplomatic cables by Mr. Assange.
Well, there is some significant difference in those two situations, you must admit. Expense reports are not the same as a diplomatic cable.
True. But as you point out, the newspaper's commercial motivation is different than Mr. Assange, who says his actions are purely in the interests of promoting transparency.
I'm beginning to see your point. There is some significant downside risks for the United States.
Mr. President, as you know, there are many different kinds of censorship practiced around the world, including encouragement of self-censorship through means including surveillance and monitoring, threats of legal action, and informal methods of intimidation.
That sounds a lot like what is going on right now in the United States.
Senators Lieberman and Feinstein, however, they influenced eBay, PayPal, Amazon, and Bank of America, have already made a bad situation worse. Prosecution of Julian Assange and attempts to censor WikiLeaks seems to be a sure formula to only hurt America's image around the globe. An image that is still viewed with a sense that Americans value free expression and hold to a spirit of openness.
Your Majesty, you're a wise woman. I see your point.
Barack, think of it like this: if you get a spot of mud on your suit, you can try to rub it off. Most likely you will just end up rubbing it in and soil the suit. But if you just let it dry, you can just flick it off.
In parting, I've been asked to leave you with a thought, which is whether America can afford to further damage its image around the globe by attempting at the international level to censor a website dedicated to the principles of transparency. A special thanks to Reporters Without Borders and Eric Fanner of the New York Times for his December 19th article, "Careful When Shooting the Messenger."